poison ivy.
Čau.
Ahoj. Pusto.
Flakajúca.
Bože, konečne doma so ženou?
Prvý raz si povedal, že to skúsi, keď už dieťa doma. A spokojne.
Bol vo Fysenika?
Nie.
Jo.
Mal nočnú. Ja som mu to vysvetľoval, ale neveril mi. On to ešte nerozumie tomu veľmi. Povedal, že nie je problém, že on zvládne nočné celý život. Presne tak. Jedno silné no. Avšak to bude zase. To sa nezmení, to je v poriadku. Ale hej no. No pokojne, on nepotrebuje spať vlastne živote, povedal. Dá sa.
Vyrosli?
Kde? Programa? Ty si poslal minus?
Aj vám to stojí. A čo mi napíšte do chatu?
Vírus mi poslal.
Nemôžeš písať do chatu? Či nie je verejný? To som moc zle založil? Počkaj. Verejný je. Verejnú viditeľnosť by mal byť verejný ten oný. Marek, ty vieš písať?
Ja to ti napísal.
Jakubec klame. Pekne. Klame. Nehajte si len zapnuté, keď môžete. Vám to nezaťažuje resursy. A sem tam ešte tam na čo napísať. Nechať bežať aspoň hodinu.
Trouble.
Jančí je vyjančený. To ste takí. To sa neviete sami zabaviť. Aj toto? Ja neviem, jak sa to robí. By som aj do rumy pozval, ale neviem, jak sa to robí. Pozrite, dám vám tam oných aj panačíkov. Nejde. Už ma vidno. Nechcem, aby mňa bolo vidno. Prečo? Veľa si písal? Veľa? Čo to nemôžem prepnúť? Jak ja to vôbec neviem ovládať, ty kokos, tú našu apku na frontende. Absolútne vôbec. Chcem, aby sa tu, kde sa četujú ľudia, Coaches Corner dáme.
State champion that's got to have a nice ring as a head coach. John Pohl joins us here at the Coaches Corner. And first of all, congratulations to you and your team. What a run this year. It's a great year. We're going to get into all of that. But first of all, want to say congrats, obviously. And can you take us through the emotion now as a coach and having been a player, you know, kind of compare and contrast what that feels like?
I think, first of all, thank you. And it's way different, right? Because when you win it at 17 or whatever, 16, 17, 18, you know, it's all about you and your buddies, and you don't really probably understand it. I think as you're older and as a coach, it's cooler because you feel a part of every kid's joy and their families. You know, we had 19 awesome kids that were with us at the state tournament, and to see them so happy after the game, especially our seniors, to know that that's how their high school hockey career ends. It's a cooler rush as a player, but it's a more emotional, sentimental, meaningful thing as a coach.
And for you, it's a senior that gets the game winner.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that? How stoked were you for that?
Couldn't happen to a better kid. Ella Horning is a awesome kid, and she's been at Hill Murray since 6th grade. She's been on the varsity hockey team since 8th grade. She's been on the 4th line. She's been on the 1st line. She's been on the 2nd line. She's been on the power play. She's not been on the power play. She's been on the penalty kill, hasn't been on the penalty kill. She is a coach's dream. She never has a bad attitude, smiles every day. We don't really run much of a system, but we talk a lot about reloading, which is, I didn't even know about reloading until I played professionally, but it's essentially once you go on the forecheck, it's just your first 5 steps back, you know, and we always say, if you reload hard, you don't have to back check, because then they shouldn't even get out of the zone. And reloading is a really unselfish act, because if you're going on the forecheck, it's easy to stay in on the forecheck and cheat and kind of hope the puck gets kicked back to you because you're behind the D. But reloading is an unselfish act because you have to come back and help defensively, even though the puck is still in the offensive zone. Long story. Ella Horning reloads her butt off every single game and is super unselfish about it. And that's the kind of stuff that doesn't show in box scores all the time. And even if you look at the winning goal, she tries to center it. She's behind the net, and she starts reloading to the front of the net, and then realizes we're going to shoot, and she goes to the front. It goes off her stick, and we get a lucky bounce, and it goes in. But she epitomizes our team in terms of just selflessness and hard work. And for her to end it like that, everybody was over the moon happy for her.
It was fun to watch. It came through. You could see it. And, you know, when you talked 8th grade with her, obviously you've had a very young team, but you went from Grayson, who was a veteran horse in goal, like so good, to an 8th grader who wins a state title. Can you talk about, you start the year and you go, okay, well, I knew I had a commodity here. Now it's like, what's going to happen? Can you walk us through what that season was like?
For sure. Grace was the Jory Jones winner last year. She's probably the best goalie that we will have, hopefully we'll have a better goalie at some point, but she's the best goalie that's ever played at Hill Murray. Honestly, she's as good of a high school goalie as I've ever seen. So losing Grace was a gigantic loss. And I'll just say this too, last thing on Grace, but if you ever get to know Grace, she is an incredibly special person who is going to do such amazing things. So losing her in the net and in the locker room and at school and in our community here was a huge loss for us. So we knew that going into the year. We had Charlotte Oscarson played a lot for us throughout the year. She's a junior, and we knew Piper had ability. Piper actually came to tryouts last year as a 7th grader, but we don't keep 7th graders. And we said, hey, she had a great experience at tryouts. We could have kept her. but she was going to go play in the winter and get way more games somewhere else. So we knew Piper was good. So we had Charlotte and Piper to start the year, and we kind of gave Charlotte the harder games just because she was an older kid, kind of brought Piper along slowly. And then Piper was playing well, and so we gave her some tougher games, and she had some good moments. She had some bad moments. And after Christmas, our entire team started playing better. Charlotte was playing well. Piper was playing well. And we were going to kind of alternate them and see where it took us and give them both an opportunity. And, with about maybe a week or two left in the season, Charlotte got sick and had to miss about a week. So Piper ended up getting a few more games, and she was playing well. And, the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And
Right.
So Piper she was playing well, and we're like, we're going to go with her. And we went with her, and she played great. You mentioned she's an 8th grader, and she just turned 14. She's young. But her mental makeup and mindset, honestly, is as good as I have seen for a goalie. I'm not going to say she's better than Grace, because Grace's mindset was amazing, but even Grace would get really down on herself from time to time, which is ridiculous because of how good she is. Piper, I mean, if you see her during a game or in between periods, you wouldn't know if she's got a 75 save shutout going or has given up 9 goals on 10 shots. She is so level-headed, and I think our team feeds off that, and I think that's something that I hope she never loses.
Another thing about your team, which I think is really fascinating, you had some good senior leadership, not a lot of people, but your top 3 points, 150 points between sophomores, obviously Emily leading the way there, your daughter. Can you talk about the blend between the sophomores all the way up to seniors and even the younger players? It's a really cool dynamic to watch. And I think you guys are going to be trouble for years to come for other teams.
Yeah, you're right. We have a perfect mix, and you can't win. I'm convinced in high school sports in general, you can't win a championship unless you have complete buy-in and selfless seniors. And we had that for sure. We only have 4: Ella Horning, Casey Senden, Josie Skugman, and Regan Berglund. They are 4 great kids. They are 4 diehard pioneers, and they are 4 completely different people. And it's like, what is it? It's like you need a good hockey team is like trail mix, right? You need a little piece of candy, you need some fruit, and then you need some people that are nuts. And we had that. Like Casey Senden, and I say this very nicely, is like the mother of the group. She is so mature. She is she's like a 30-year-old. She's so mature and such a leader and such a level-headed kid. Ella Horning is a hunter and a fisherman and drives a truck and is the sweetest, nicest kid you'll ever meet in your life. Josie Skugman is fun. She's caring. She's upbeat. She has a great sense of humor. And Regan Berglund is crazy. So we have a little bit of everything. Regan is the life of every party. I can't wait to go to weddings someday when Regan is around and just kind of see the way she is. So we had that mix of, and none of them are overbearing or, my way or the highway. We don't. This is the first year. This is our second year, but kind of really our first year where we had a little bit of time to prepare. We do not have captains. We don't name captains. We just say every senior on the team is the leader, and the team will be led by our seniors. And it was just a really good mix. They're incredibly inclusive and welcoming to the younger kids. They aren't jealous if younger kids are scoring or maybe playing in certain roles ahead of them. They're great teammates. And there's no doubt that that's why we won, because we had awesome seniors.
I love the trail mix. I'm going to use that forever. I'll copyright it to you, I promise. You obviously came from a great community from Red Wing with your experiences there. And I think Hill Murray is a very special community that maybe there's some things people don't know about. Being in leadership at the school, having coached there, could you share a few things to our viewers of what makes Hill Murray special?
it's funny you mentioned Red Wing. Hill Murray reminds me a lot of Red Wing. And what I mean by that is it's small and people. So I taught at Cretan Durham Hall for 7 years and then moved over here and have been here for 8 years. And every once in a while, people will be like, well, why do you, you're from Red Wing, you're public school. What are you doing at a private school? And what they don't know is my dad went to Cretan. My mom went to Rochester Lourdes. I actually went to St. Joe's in Red Wing until it closed, basically.
Right.
So my Catholic schools are my entire life. And when, Christy and I settled up here and we were going to raise our kids, we got a house in Woodbury. I wanted my kids in a small school. That's just how it is. My children have gone to St. Ambrose of Woodbury, which was a phenomenal school. We just like smaller schools, and that's really tough to find up here, to be honest. Where we are in Woodbury, it's 400 or 500 kids in a grade. Here at Hill Murray, it's 150 kids in a grade. And there's just, I can just tell you from a parent standpoint, there's more opportunities sometimes in a smaller school, and there's things you miss out on too. But that, I think people view it private schools sometimes as, well, it's just a bunch of people from all over and they're only here for this or that. But it is a wonderful community, and the number of alumni and people who are connected to the school that have reached out over the past 2 days or care, it is really a special place. And I think just, being in Catholic education now for 15 years, it's different. And for some people, it's a great fit. For others, it might not be the right fit. But if you look at our roster, the overwhelming majority of students have gone to Catholic schools their whole life. Casey Senden went to Frassati her whole life. Regan Berglund went to St. Jude. Olivia Brownhausen went to St. Croix Catholic. Addie McClay went to St. Elizabeth Ann Seton. The Pole girls went to St. Ambrose. And then we have kids like the Skugmans, whose dad is our tennis coach and worked here in the building, was our marketing director for a while. The Engelhart girls have been here since 6th grade. Ella Horning's been here 6th grade. I think sometimes we get viewed as this place where people just, a pit stop for hockey, and it's the farthest thing from that. Don't get me wrong. There are kids that are here because we have a great hockey program, but there are kids that just want a smaller experience and a faith-based experience, and they get that here. And hopefully they also get a great hockey experience.
It's great to watch, and look forward to seeing more from you next year. No pressure, and congratulations. Enjoy the ride. It was really a great year, and I'm so glad you could be on the show. I could talk to you for hours. I love your hockey mind. You're just so great to talk to, and I couldn't be happier for you, John.
Thank you very much. Thanks for everything you do for high school hockey.
Thank you.
Cena jednoizbaku pomaly, kde si?
Neviem, koľko bude chcieť.
Ja by som predvolal, že to tak bude. Keď teraz idú tie garáže pri trati za 35-40, vieš, proste to je
Tak budú chcieť, 50-60. Ale to už za to jednoizbak nekúpiš, ani máte ocia. Čo tam je toto kávu? Mi to vypne normálne prehrávanie, keď nie som na tabe. Nemáme tieto. Nemáme smajlíkov YouTubeových. Vyzerá to jebnuté.
We have a 2-pack of coaches in the Coaches Corner today. Of course, we heard from John Pohl from Hill Murray as they won their state championship on Saturday evening. Earlier in the day, prior to that game, Jeremy Gunderson, the head coach here of Dodge County, the Wildcats, big win this weekend, really capping off a magical season. Congratulations to you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Great year. Tons of fun, and no words can describe it. You just got to feel at some point it was magical. So love it.
Yeah, I'm sure you're pinching yourself, no doubt. And there's a lot to get into from the season and how your team performed. And when you look back over time, 3 years ago, it was a section final loss to Albert Lee. Then you advance to the state tournament, lose to Warroad in the final. And then you get there again this year and you close the deal. And I would argue with Orono and Warroad, they were beating up on teams all over the AA and single A. a very deep field for you.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of great teams. I mean, everybody that made that state tournament, got there by winning, right? You can't back your way into a state championship and get in the state tournament by losing anything. So every team, even that River Lakes team, was solid with goaltending and 20 at forward. They're a great team. So.
Yeah, sometimes a goaltender can beat you too, and if they're playing Cadence is a great goalie, as we know. And, when I look back to your schedule, that tie with Minnetonka, I thought that was huge. I don't know. I mean, one game doesn't win or lose a state tournament, but did you feel from that game, was your team believing at that stage? They had to be.
Yeah, it was. I'd say that was a good opener to me about our team as far as where we're at. We played similarly the night before. Then we had a noon game at Minnetonka on the road. A difficult place to play with nerves, and they have a great squad. For us to go out there and skate the way we did and compete and get a tie, I knew that this group here could just compete with about anybody and everybody, just the way they played. So,
what is it about this team, in your perspective, that is different from the previous two teams to get over the hump?
Age, maturity, and experience, right? I think that combination really, that loss, 2 years ago in the section final, these guys were all young, right? 7th, 8th, 9th grade, real young squad. They were never on that stage. Little panicky over grip sticks and just didn't finish, even though I think shots were like 3-1 in that game in favor of us. And, even goaltending, Ida was a little nervous in there, I think. And, now you see her, she's been a brick wall. The hard schedule we had kind of really got these guys ready for this strong push. And I think the big key for us was that we had 3 lines that were able to compete. And we kind of played the old school way, like I kind of believe in back check, forward check, some other teams that be very good on special teams and, just take away time and space. And at the end of the ice, take away the goalie's eyes and create time and space. So very proud of what these guys have done. So.
When you're rolling 3 lines, obviously at some level, these kids have probably been scorers or somewhere in their youth life. And maybe you're asking for a little bit of a different role from them. How do you go about roles with your team and getting them where they need to be to accept that role?
We do a lot of one-on-ones throughout the year, preseason, in season, at least once or twice a year. We talk about their strengths, and they usually acknowledge what their strengths are. And then we put them on a line combination and give them a role based upon what their strengths are. We know that everybody has flaws, right? Instead of picking on those weaknesses, we try to find their strengths and then play another player with them that will build upon their strengths to support what might be a weakness. So that, we had a line, our third line center is going to Hamlin, right? She's a senior. She could have been on her first line, but she plays such a strong style of hockey, loves to have the puck on her stick. We put her around kids that grind it out, and she had an 8th grader on one wing that's very good at passing from low to high, and Hannah's got a great shot. So that's one way that we put line combinations together of kids that can support each other. But any other team, even our own team, Hannah's truly not a third line center. But for us, rolling anybody, I mean, that line matched up against 6 and 4 numerous times at Warroad. I had my coaches look over and say, their first is out there again. I said, yep, so is ours. We believe we have 3 first lines. They all worked hard, and we weren't afraid to match up anybody with line combinations. So
I love that approach, that philosophy. It's been fun to watch as you've worked your depth for sure. What was going through your head in all of your years coaching when you see the clock winding down? It's overtime, obviously, and you had to get it done in overtime. When that goal goes in, what are you thinking? Like, is this real? Like, what? Take us through your mindset in that game-winning goal.
Yeah, with all the years of coaching and on the bench as well as playing, it was kind of you kind of get those moments as a coach where you're like, you make a decision, you just roll with it, right? So the timeout, I had a lot of people like, why? Because I think a lot of it is just kind of pumping your kids' tires, and I didn't really want to go to the locker room. Didn't want to have time to think about, hey, we lost a 2-goal lead and have kids stewing on it. So that was going to be my shot, right? So, I kind of brought the kids in. We had a play that we run. We practiced quite a bit. We tied the Minnetonka game with that face-off. It's got 2 different roles to it. If we lose a draw, if we win a draw, how to get offensive scoring chance. So we practiced it quite a bit. Hadn't shown it, I think, since that Minnetonka game when we tied it in that game. And, we told the kids, hey, this is it. We're winning this thing right now. We're got offense zone face-off. We're going to put our 5 best. We're not going to come to the locker room. Zamboni's not coming on except for to, clear off our championship victory. And and this thing ends right now, So we had the kids, pumped up, believing it. I had the guy behind me at the Excel when my kids went on the ice. The locker room attendant said, "You guys are going to win." That speech got me fired up. He goes, "I'd go through a brick wall right now for you too," So so kids went out there. We lost the first draw, but it went right to Zoe, kind of as designed, and she got a good shot. We just get a rebound off it, and then we snuck Macy up top as a wing up top, just a low pad shot, right, having her sneak in from that D point spot, and she hit the pipe, and then Zoe, was her job to drive the back pipe and finish anything if there's loose change, and it paid off. I mean, obviously it went in. Zoe was yelling for it, I got this thing, it's in, and she's a very, good, hard blue collar working kid that's honest, and she's like, "There's no way, coach. The Warroad kid pulled it out. It was in the net. The ref sees it. This thing's over." She's like, "I'm taking my helmet off." I'm like, "No, we're not taking our helmets off yet. Let's just go through the process. Let's see what happens." And, the long wait was a long time. And an even funnier situation is Buck Kachiver at Lakefield North. He calls me on the bench and my phone's ringing. And, we're waiting to see this review. I don't know what view he had or his call there. He's like, "Hey, Gundy, you're a state champion. Congratulations. One's in the net. It's game over, buddy." He goes, "This is over," and I'm like, "How do you see it?" He's like, "I got a great view." He goes, "That thing's in the back of the net and there's no way." He goes, "The whistle didn't blow. The net's not off. That thing's in the net all the way, goal," And then shortly after that, we saw the replay and people erupted. And at that time, it feels surreal because you can see it, but then until they officially make that signal, you're just on pins and needles waiting for that thing to watch that ref's hand signature when they came out of the box. So
yeah, they do the spin and the point right to the the center ice. So
right.
It's when you look at, you have a 2-goal lead that dissipates, right? And we always say the worst lead in sport is a 2-goal lead in hockey, but it's true.
Yeah.
What was your message through that?
Well, as a coach, we all know that it's we told our kids at the beginning, we said it's gonna be a race for 5, right? So you just got to kind of reprogram with that TV timeout that it's not over, right? We said this is a race to 5. We told you this game is going to go up and down. We knew that Warroad was going to score goals, that we had scored goals, that this was going to be a battle till the horn blew, and we can't get our highs too high and our lows too low, and we just kind of built them back up. And just like going to overtime, I said, "Hey, if we told you guys a year ago it's going to be 3-3. We're going to be going to overtime with Warroad. Would you want that spot?" And they all said yes. I go, "Well, then let's grab it and take it, right? That this is what you guys wanted a year ago, and the stage is set. There's no reason to be sulking on a 2-goal, swing, because I said, oh, next one wins, and that's all that matters." So it was just, with any kind of coaching, I think it's just building kids up and giving them that confidence and resetting and getting them to go back there instead of not stewing on what could have been, should have been, or was, So,
like Hill Murray, who won in the Class 2A, your team is very young and you've got a huge upside. Can you talk about the future of Dodge County hockey?
Yeah, people are already kind of chuckling because I was kind of looking at lines for next year and shuffling things around and who's going to do what. And we've got we had a very good JV program and a feeder program. So we're very excited, right? So I think, we'll lose some very good seniors and great leaders in our locker room. And that's always tough. But I think, we always say we're going to reload. We don't need to rebuild by any means. We've got a great core coming back. And these kids put a lot of work in. They're always up in the cities training and the weight room down here, do a bunch of programs. They're on the ice quite a bit, multiple sport athletes. So we're excited. I mean, we bring back a great core. Plus, we have other kids that we'll be bringing up that, we were just so deep this year that they played junior varsity instead. And so this would be a good chance for some of those kids to get that varsity experience now this summer and getting those lines and get some work in. So,
well, it's going to be fun to, you got the target on your back, so it's always tougher to do it again. But these kids have proven to be winners. And, the one thing that you can always say is if you win a state tournament in hockey in Minnesota, you've got the keys to the city. So your kids have the keys to the entire area right now, I think, for doing that. Has that been something you guys have talked about, the impact and all of the people you've heard from that you didn't even know were watching the game?
Yeah, I mean, our locker room door, it reads "Be legendary," right? Is one of the quotes that this group has had for their culture. And we told them that this was a moment where they have that opportunity to be legendary, right? Get your name on that Evelyn Cup, get that thing out there so people know who you are. Warroad is, has just a dynasty team, right? They're very good. We always told them it was kind of like the Miracle game, right? That was the anniversary of the Miracle on ice that day. They're very hard to beat, great team, very proven, solid hockey players, but we just had to play with a ton of heart and bring it home for the South, right? So I think we had a lot of support from all of Southern Minnesota, which is great, from the boys programs and girls from hockey, saying, hey, bring one home back in the 507. And so that was kind of a little bit of chant for a while is let's go 507, let's bring one down south. And the kids kind of rallied around it, and it's been awesome. I've had more coaches from across the state, reaching out, other programs. I mean, city officials, mayors, council members, school officials. It's been great. I mean, the kids have, I don't think they've realized the magnitude of what they did so far yet, either myself. I've done this for 18 years with Dodge County, and I was talking to Scott Haley, a longtime Red Wing coach, and I said, it doesn't feel like it's over yet because I've lost every year. My season ended on loss for 18 years. I don't know what to do with a win. I kind of wanted to call Johnny Pohl and say, hey, do you want to play Friday night? Because let's keep going because it just doesn't feel like it's done, right? Like you're still going out as a winner feels great, but it also feels like there was no closure. You know what I mean? So
you need more, 2-0 loss to Hill Murray. Let's go. We want to see it. We would love to see that one happen. Coach, I think the kids will learn in 10 years that they're legendary. When they come back to town, it never leaves, and it is a big deal. And I want to thank you for your time. I know all of us here at MN Hockey TV have been big fans of your team, your kids, the way your kids play, the way you approach the game, your scheduling, everything you do. It's been really impressive from our perch to watch. So congratulations from all of us to you.
No, I thank you. I mean, you guys do a great job. I love the way you guys cover the girls' hockey as well as boys' hockey. It's been with people like you, it's nice to get that word out there and give the awareness. And so I appreciate everything you guys do for us. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeremy. Have a great summer. We'll see you soon. The season goes fast, doesn't it?
It does for sure. So appreciate it.
All right, take care.
Čo to z mňa pripojilo v piče? No to odpája vždy.
My grandfather opened our doors in 1930. Ever since, we've had one main goal: keeping customers and their families comfortable. Comfort isn't just about temperature, it's about your peace of mind working with us. Our reputation is built on quality work, integrity, and a team of experts second to none. We stand behind our guarantees, our work, and our people. That's been true for over 90 years. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, the comfort you deserve since 1930.
A good neighbor would give you a cup of sugar if you asked. At TrueStone Financial, we don't have any sugar, but we will give you up to $350 when you switch to a TrueStone checking account. It's true, because we're TrueStone.
My grandfather opened our doors in 1930. Ever since, we've had one main goal: keeping customers and their families comfortable. We stand behind our guarantees, our work, and our people. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, the comfort you deserve since 1930.
Ukáž, ty streamer.
Ty streamer. Aha, lebo do piče, ja to mám fuck. Sa rekonektujem stále, takže to dojebáva, Marek.
Dajte ešte raz. Aj, Pero no. Sí, pinto.
Alebo neodídeš. Jan Sládkovič. Dobre. Vypnem vám zabavu zajtra zase. Skúsime ešte raz, či funguje chat. Funguje chat. Welcome to unboxing.